Hey, folks, this is Jeff Young from Kings of Thrash. You're watching CMS TV. Ooh.
It is Chris Aiken Presents, and I, of course, am Chris Aiken. And today on the show, I am excited to talk to this guy. As anybody's listening to the show knows, there's probably not a bigger Megadeth fan than me. I love what this guy has done. I'm obviously friends with David Ellefson, so I know what he's doing now as well. And I'm excited to talk about it. Of course, we're talking about the Kings of Thrash. They have a new song called Bullets Ready out there. They've got music that's out there on those streaming platforms that you can check out what they do. They're keeping the vibe of Megadeth alive while at the same time maybe moving forward with brand new material. And here to talk all about it is the guitarist of the band, Mr. Jeff Young. Jeff, how are you, sir?
That's me, and I'm bloody well right, my friend. Nice to see you. Cool looking studio you got going there.
Thank you. Well, it's great to talk to you, my friend. And dude, I love what you guys are doing. I obviously, as you heard in the intro, I'm a gigantic Megadeth fan, so I love what you did in the past. But I love that you're keeping it alive now, and it just seems like it is the right time now. So why don't we start there, man? Talk a little bit about Kings of Thrash, how it came together, how you and David kind of brought it back together to where we are today.
Totally by accident and
Okay.
never intended. I mean, I'm sure we would have played a Megadeth song here and there, but everything came out of, including our single that brought us here today and the video Bullets Ready, which we're happy to say is top 10 this week. Woo-hoo.
Nice.
I got a phone call out of the blue to participate in the Nick Menza documentary that's
Okay.
floating around. Maybe you've seen it.
I have.
Maybe some of your listeners and viewers have seen it. They wanted me to write a song for the movie,
Okay.
and they sent me, I think, 3 or 4 grooves. It was just Nick by himself with his drums mic'd up and sounding great, and play each riff, each rhythm he was playing was a little bit different. And I wrote Bullets Ready to Nick's drums from Beyond the Grave, which was surreal,
Sure.
a little spooky, and super cool because we were great friends back in the day. I actually roomed with him on the road to escape the debauchery that was going on in the 5-star Rockstar room. So I was rooming with the roadie. Nick was the drum tech at the time.
Right.
And so we became great friends. He was on my radio show. He came to GIT and we did a metal performance workshop, jamming in my darkest hour with 15 different students. He
Nice.
must have played it 15 times that day. And so it was just a natural thing. And I wrote this song for the movie, but I ended up keeping it. And I decided I didn't want to put it in the movie, maybe because I knew it was really good.
Right.
In the meantime, we got to film the scenes, the interview footage, and David Ellefson's in LA. We're filming in LA. And the night before the filming, we were at the Rainbow Bar and Grill, the infamous haunt, paying the check. And I sang a riff that David Ellefson and I were demoing 30 years ago prior to Rust in Peace. I totally remember that riff. We got to get in a room and work that stuff up.
Nice.
So that's how it started, was with one riff. I ended up bringing Bullets Ready in as the second song to present, and we kind of finished those songs and demoed them. A couple months later, David was back in LA. He brought 2 songs in, and we finished those together. So we now had 4 songs demoed. And in the meantime, there's a bi-weekly jam that happens at the Whiskey A Go-Go
Sure.
called the Ultimate Jam. Perhaps some folks are familiar. On any given night, 50 to 100 folks, either up and coming, Hollywood up and comers or international, everyone from Ralph from Steel Panther to David Elson and Jeff Young, they had a Big Four themed night and
Okay.
invited me to play. I said, well, as a matter of fact, I'm writing with David Elson. We're working on some stuff together. You want to see? Well, I could call him and see if he could fly in from Arizona to participate, which he did. The Ultimate Jam folks, matched us with Chaz Leon. And Fred Aching, our drummer, played Slayer that night. We didn't even meet him. I didn't know Fred, but I saw him a couple days later. There's our drummer. So what happened is we did the Ultimate Jam. It got picked up on all the metal magazines online.
Sure.
And Elfson's manager comes in. You got to take this act on the road, boys. You got to do So Far, So Good, So What, and Killing Is My Business in its entirety. And so that's how Kings of Thrash was born. Then and there. And so we actually put the 4 songs on hold on the
Okay.
back burner. And we've been on a whirlwind global thrash tour
Right.
for going on 3 years now. We've been all over the world, Australia twice, USA 3 times, Europe for a month, Japan. We just did Tokyo. We did Mexico. Just our most recent was Colombia, which was incredible.
Sure.
And now we're getting ready to, towards the end of August, we're going to do Norway, UK, and Ireland.
Okay. Wow. Nice. Let
So
me ask you. Let me ask you.
accidents can happen.
Absolutely. Well, I'm curious about working with David, and obviously the David Ellefson of today, 2026, is a very different guy from the guy you were working with on So Far, So Good, So What. You know, he's
That's for
obviously
sure.
cleaned himself up and whatnot. And was there any apprehension from you to working with him because of the past? Not that you guys were not getting along, but you remember the demons from the past. Did you have any apprehensions about working with him, knowing or have seen that in the past?
Well, it wasn't that tempting to me in the past,
Okay.
and I knew he was clean and sober for many years, so I didn't think about that.
Okay.
And to be honest, we've had some people backstage. Actually, it happened in Australia. There's like 3 really cute girls were backstage, and they were hanging. And within, it didn't take them long to ferret out. And one of the girls, because no one drinks, smokes, we're all kind of,
Straight edged
they
almost.
said, you guys are the most wholesome band we've ever hung around. Translation might be boring, but, it serves us when we get on stage because we're all clear headed, and this music is challenging to play, of course. I mean, the whole show, it doesn't let up, and we've chosen to do all the oldest, hardest, fastest deep cuts that there are. So it's definitely an endurance test, this show, so we keep our wits about us.
Right on. For you personally, are you glad to be out there still sharing this music, the original, the Megadeth music, not necessarily the Kings of Thrash? I know you're happy to share the new stuff, but are you happy that there's still so many people that care so much about the music that you did back in the Megadeth days?
It's amazing to see the fathers or mothers bring in their children, and the
Sure.
kids wearing a So Far So Good So What t-shirt, and and maybe 2 generations, like a 18-year-old kid and maybe a 12-year-old kid to the show. I mean, when any of the artists whose albums stand the test of time, you're in your 20s and you're not thinking about standing the test of time. Your music or your constitution, your health. I was always pretty health conscious, but so to look back, all these decades later, and to see the appreciation that the people have when we do the meet and greets, the VIPs, and the people come with things that I've never seen from back in the day for us
Sure.
to sign. And it's really the stories they tell us of memories when they saw us back in the day, or something that's triggered them. Because this whole thing for us, again, we started this. We were just going to do an EP of original music.
Mm-hmm.
Hey metalheads, tired of waiting for new episodes? Crave the real raw classic metal show? For just $4.99 a month, you can become a CMS VIP. You get every episode a full week early, completely uncensored, and 100% commercial free. It's the only place to interact directly with the show, plus you score the Fast Pass, so your song requests get bumped straight to the head of the line on every live version. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe right now at classicmetalshow.locals.com and become a CMS VIP today.
By accident, now we've done something that no other band has really done before us. I mean, the tribute thing is huge, right?
Sure.
But we kind of put a wrinkle or a twist on the tribute band thing. You got two OGs as the pillars on each side of the stage who were there in the heyday, and with the two young guns up the center. So it's a really cool thing. And to tap into that nostalgia, I never expected to be playing. Maybe over the years, I've had to maybe do one Megadeth in my darkest hour at a jam here or there. Or when I got inducted into the Rock Gods Hall of Fame.
Right.
The band couldn't play anything off the album I played on, so I had to learn Symphony of Destruction because it was simple.
Right.
So the best thing about it for the band, for Elfson and myself, and I think for the people who are coming and listening and attending the shows, is the nostalgia and that reminiscence. Because if, like, for example, we're a way better band than we were on the Best of the West Live at the Whiskey DVD, but to look at the crowd at the Whiskey that night with the mosh pit and the stage diving, and that was only our fourth gig in our history of the band. To see people going back in time like that, it's a gift for everybody. It's a gift for us. It's a gift for the people who get to come and relive that. And a lot of the people, again, if you came in Rust and Peace or later, if you came in on Sweat and Bullets or Euthanasia, like Kiko made the point when he joined Megadeth that in Brazil, they didn't really get hip to Megadeth till Train of Consequences.
Okay.
Which is a song we happen to do. So a lot of people miss the So Far So Good So What tour and era and everything about it, and don't even know me from Adam. So this is a great introduction, and that's what I've found, especially in Europe and Japan. For people who miss that era, get to see it for the first time, or weren't familiar with my guitar playing, they're like, wow, you're doing the Poland stuff and the Friedman stuff and Dave Mustaine solo and all your stuff note for note. So that's a really cool thing that you could have never expected to have happen when you're in your 60s.
Sure.
As I sit here today.
Sure. When you look at the vast majority of or the vast number of guitar players that have been in Megadeth, obviously Marty gets all the attention. 90% of it goes to Marty, and fair enough.
They're the longest. I mean, how many albums he did? 6.
Yeah, 6. But he also did the stuff that was the biggest selling, so people, of course, gravitate to that. But as a skill player, as you are, how do you rate Marty or those guys? And I'm not saying compare them to you or anything, but I mean, do you think that everybody that has held the mantle in Megadeth is like highest tier players?
I wouldn't say everybody, but for sure, and I can only speak to because I've figured most of Chris's stuff out and a lot of Marty's stuff and Mustaine's stuff. They're both great. What makes players at this level, when you get to the upper echelon and the all-seeing eye of the pyramid, everyone's great at this level.
Sure.
There's so many great players. You can go on Instagram and see great players. I just talked about this in the last interview. because I'm doing one every half hour today because we're top 10 with
There you
Bullets
go.
people. It's note selection. It's the choice of notes is what anyone can play fast, and everyone plays guitar. When I started playing guitar, everybody didn't play guitar. But now a lot of people play guitar. It's a very popular instrument because it's a lot like the human voice. And it's really the note selection. And Chris has an amazing choice of note, as does Marty. And I try to do the same when I write a solo. I'm just trying to choose the notes that sit with the rhythm that's going on, not only the drum beat, but the chordal progression and the flow of it. But, something that's going to, it's like a composition within a composition. So, and I've met Al Petrelli. He was great. When the first thing he said when I met him, he was like, "In my darkest hour, you love Gary Moore." And I was like, guilty. And Kiko's great. I've had Kiko on my radio show. He can play piano. Just a great, any Brazilian, most Brazilians are so musical. So everyone's great. And it's just everyone having their unique note selection is what sets everyone apart, I think.
Right on. Well, Jeff, obviously here with Kings of Thrash, like we said, you've released a few singles, and there's also live stuff that is available. What are we moving toward? Are we moving toward a full album or an EP, or has to be determined, or where are we with Kings of Thrash?
We have no attachment to the outcome and no plan, just like there was no plan for Kings of Thrash to exist. We had those 4 songs that David and I composed originally. Bullets Ready happened to be one of them. We're dropping a live video of us covering Kiss's Cold Gin in Ace Frehley's memory because we had Red Devil Vortex as our opening act on a U.S. tour run. And Ace had just passed, and Gabriel Connor's favorite band is Kiss. It only made sense to bring him out on the encore, and that whole gang vocal thing that Chaz, it went over so well in Cold Gin with Chaz and Gabriel singing the Cold Gin Time Again. The Bullets Ready, it just seemed natural. Gabriel also plays bass often in the Jeff Young group. So we've already made a music video together. All this was already in the offing. We've already been playing together. So Bullets Ready happening was unexpected. And I just said it was so cool doing the Cold Gin. And why don't we, we had Zetro available. So why don't we make this a threesome, so to speak, 3 musketeers on the vocals.
Right on.
And it worked out great. And Gabriel we had vocals that we wrote, all 4 of us, Chaz, Fred, David, and I all collaborated on the lyrics. And I gave them to Gabriel, and he sculpted them. He's a fine craftsman, both melodically. He took the melodies we had and took them up a level. He also took the lyrics and sculpted them and took them up a level. Just changing a word here and there just can make a song so much more elegant. And the great news about Bullets Ready, it was composed before AI was a thing.
There you go.
It was written like 4 years ago.
There you go, which means that there's a lot of creative juice still left. That's the way I'm reading it. Have you heard, obviously, and I'm going to stay with Bullets Ready for a minute. Obviously, as you mentioned, you built it around Nick's drum tracks. Have you heard from the Menza family what they thought of the song, or did they have to give approval or any of that stuff?
Well, no, because in a song, you copyright the chord progression and the vocal melody.
Okay.
So you don't copyright a drum beat. But I got to tell, because I'm really tight with Nick's sister and his son, because we met them all, of course, at the movie premiere.
Sure.
They were all there. The whole family was there. And they're just super cool people. So I don't know if they know the story yet, but I'm going to make sure, that they find out. And I think they're going to be totally stoked about it. And when they hear it, as soon as they hear the drum beat come in, they're going to go, it's totally Nick.
Right.
because Nick is encoded. He's in the tune. He's in this song.
Right. Excellent. Well, one last one before we start to wrap it up here, Jeff. Obviously, Megadeth is on what I guess is a never-ending final tour. You know, they announced it for what, 5 years or some crazy long time, and you know as well as I do, the minute they announce that, the fans are like, "Where's Jeff Young? Where's David Ellefson? Where's Marty? You know, can we get everybody together?" And David Mustaine has said pretty much the lineup he has is the lineup it is. As a fan, I don't find that to be fair at all. You know, as a fan, I understand his point, and I'm sure you probably do too, that that's his band and blah, blah, blah. But the music that he created and shared with all of us was not David Mustaine and company. It was you guys. It was you. It was Ellefson. It was Al Petrelli at this point in time, or you know, Chuck or whoever, you know, all these different people. And for the surviving members who are actively playing not to be invited, that feels really shitty to me. You know, where do you weigh in on that? And do you feel like you should be a participant in a show, whether it's the final show or one jam that everybody that's still alive and still playing would get up on stage and play?
I'm totally neutral about it. I have no opinion about it.
Mhm.
I don't even know if I'd want to do it if it was offered to me. I mean, we're already doing it with Kings of Thrash,
Sure.
and to my mind, better. So, I mean, I don't know why I need to go do that.
No, I get it, but it's just
I
more.
would do it. The reason to do it would be for the fans so they
Mhm.
could see it. That's the only reason to do it.
Sure, and that was kind of my point. Is from a fan standpoint, it just seems not cool to go out with a lineup that's been together 2 years or whatever. When all of you guys are still available, a lot of you are still playing at as high or a higher level than you were at the time. You know, it just seems like it would make sense. It would be the proper send off. And I'm not trying to stir anything up, but
We're not all necessarily friends to begin
Sure.
with, so it's a lot of, and I'm not down for the drama, to be honest. And Marty's already done the thing with them at a few gigs,
Mhm.
so they already been there, done that. And there's a lot of politics and drama to something like that.
Sure.
So I'm neutral on it.
All
I'm
right.
happy to just play the rest of the Kings of Thrash gigs we got scheduled for this year. And, then we're in the next year, we'll be doing, I'm off doing my own album.
Right.
People can learn more about that at ko-fi.com/JYGTR is the website where we're putting a lot of intel about my new record. So I'm thinking about that for the foreseeable future. And then if we get some cool festival gigs or for Kings to come back and play together, we want it to be special and some, like, if it's like for Download Festival or something cool, or opening for KK's Priest or something like that, or Accept
Or Vakken or something.
cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know,
Right on. Definitely, man.
it's not my mission to be playing in those songs. I didn't write those, and I've written a whole album I'm about to drop of my own stuff that's closer to my heart, that's more on my vibe, that I think appeals to a larger audience, because thrash is a very niche audience.
Sure.
I mean, there's only so many people on this planet that are into thrash metal.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm happy to have contributed to the genre and be a part of the history of it, but it's a big world out there and there's a lot more to do. And I only got so many days to do it.
Right. Right on. Is it frustrating that fans try to hold you in that box? Because we do. I do. I'll admit it. When I say Jeff Young, believe me, I'm not thinking about alternative rock. I'm thinking about 502. You know, that's where my brain goes.
Yep. Well, I mean, I don't do alternative rock. My other
I know.
bag, the other album I did was world music, like Brazilian and flamenco.
Sure.
But yeah, it's just like in acting, how you can get stereotyped,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see even over. We're doing a 30-day crowdfunding to finish my record on my Ko-Fi page, and the whole thing is telling the story and changing that narrative so people see me as more than just a metal guitar player, because I grew up in Dayton, Ohio.
Sure.
That's the birthplace of funk, where the Ohio players are from, and Lakeside was from Cincinnati, and Dayton, Ohio is the funk capital of the world. So that's a big part of my music and the music that I like and the bands that I like. A lot of the bands I like have more of a funk vibe to it, more of a danceable vibe. So I'm ready to get out there and represent that with the time I got left.
Right on. Definitely. Well, people should definitely
just changing as people get, because there's a lot of people like me. I mean, there's a segment of people who are like, it's got to be metal or die. And that's cool if that's your thing. But there's also a lot of people like me who like everything from metal to classical to blues, world music, funk, and like everything. I did a whole radio show for 11 years that was exactly that. Music without boundaries, no genres, no walls. Just I played country and metal on the same show, and then a jazz tune.
That's my playlist as well, man. It's not unusual to go from.
There's a lot of people like us, and so that's my future.
I understand, man. Very good. Well, in the immediate future today, we do have Kings of Thrash. It is top 10 as of today. Bullets ready. Fantastic stuff. And Jeff, man, this has been fun. Thanks for joining me here on Chris Aiken Presents.
Everyone will check out the video. It's on the Cleopatra Records, our label's website.
Okay.
Check it out. We had fun making it, directed by our drummer, Fred Aging.
Look, everybody, I have spent 30 years in the loudest rooms in the world, and I can tell you one thing for certain. I've got zero time for weak coffee or woke nonsense. Guess that's actually two things I don't care. If you're like me, you're tired of giving up your money to corporate sellouts who hate your values. You want a brew that's as unapologetic as a Marshall stack cranked to 11. Enter Blackout Coffee. This is bold, fresh roasted, 100% American grit in a cup. It's fuel for patriots who refuse to back down. Whether you're hitting the Patriot medium roast or the massive high caffeine kick of Brutal Awakening, this is the taste of real freedom and hard-hitting flavor. Stop supporting the bland beans of companies that don't stand for you. Head over to blackoutcoffee.com right now. Use my code, which is in the description, for an exclusive discount. You can save. It's time to wake up unstoppable. Blackout Coffee, folks. Fuel for patriots. Get yours now.